with Crosby on Team Canada, with Karlsson on Team Sweden, there's always going to be people that talk about who got snubbed. Do you think there's anybody on the Penguins that got snubbed from the Four Nations face-off?
I get a lot of people said Rickard Rakell against Sweden. If Sweden is deep anywhere, it's in forwards. I could see that option being a thing. I want to throw a fun one at you and say Jesse Puljujarvi maybe, because he did start the season pretty well. Again, it hurts that he's not playing right now. And if it's worth anything, maybe he would be. Because like I said, a lot of these teams went the veteran route, went for guys like Finland, went for Joel Armia. I think Jesse Puljujarvi could have slid right in there.
Yeah.
But again, if anything, Finland is the thinnest of these rosters. So maybe it's a tough choice. And Puljujarvi also I'm pretty sure he had a pretty good tournament just this past summer representing Finland. So
yeah,
that would be my second choice outside of Rakell. And out of that, had Jari started the season pretty good, him for goalie, absolutely, because I have thoughts and opinions on this goalie trio for Team Canada.
Yeah, you've never been the biggest fan of Jordan Binnington, have you?
He locked in this spot in 2019, and Team Canada has not wavered.
Yeah.
And Aiden Hill locked his in a couple years ago and does not waver.
Yeah.
And there might be some politicking into Sam Eltonbo. I just got sent something on that I need to look into. That being said, I have thoughts on Team Canada, but I don't know if anyone else really would have earned their way in outside of, like I said, Puljujarvi and Rakell.
Yeah, Rakell is the big one. Rakell is the big one. You look at what he's done this season, 10 goals, 6 assists in 27 games played. He's playing at such a high level. The puck just magnetizes to his stick. And I think that you could have made the argument that he gets in over guys like Gus Nyquist or guys like Victor Arvidsson. The problem that I think Rakell ran into is his play last season put him behind the 8 ball, and he just wasn't able to make that up in time to make this roster. But I do think that he deserves serious consideration, and I wouldn't be surprised if he was given serious consideration. But again, his play last season might have put him behind the 8 ball. But I think he is firmly in this next conversation, which is if there was a B squad for these Four Nations, which Penguins would be in consideration? Obviously, Rakell, we both just mentioned as somebody who was kind of in the category of snub for the main one, so he would 100% be on the B squad. I agree with you. I think Jesse Puljujarvi would be on Team Finland's B squad, but who else on the Penguins, if there's anybody else on the Penguins, would make that B team?
Marcus Pettersson. Whenever I said how deep is Sweden on defense, Marcus Pettersson, it's just he's having a down year this year, so there goes that idea for this year. Marcus Pettersson for sure with Sweden. I don't see any more forwards that could make the cut. Brian Rust for Team USA.
I was going to say, Team USA, if there's a B team, Mike Sullivan's bringing in Brian Rust.
Yeah, Brian Rust for Team USA, depending on how deep it is, though, how deep the B team is, if it's more than a line, then yeah, Brian Rust gets into that conversation. And then Chris Letang, maybe, for Team Canada. Again, not the greatest year, but he would probably be in that conversation, especially if it was. Well, here's the issue. I saw a lineup of notable snubs from Team Canada, and it was a full new lineup that could still dominate this tournament. So maybe not Chris Letang, but possibly on the B team, especially if he was having a better season.
Yeah, I think there are tiers to this. Rakell and Puljujarvi are the top tier, as in they would definitely make the B squad. I think Marcus Pettersson's probably also in that as well. I think Brian Rust is in the probably, but depends on what other names are there and what happens in the politics. And then there's he may make it. He may be an option, and that's Chris Letang. The wildest thing to me is Chris Letang, for the longest time in his career, has been considered one of the better options when it comes to defensemen in the NHL. He was the number one defender for the Penguins for a decade and playing at that level for most of that decade. He has not suited up for Team Canada outside of, I don't think he's played in World Championships since World Juniors in 2007.
Yeah, I was going to say, he doesn't represent Canada all that much. I can't remember any times that he's done it. And the thing about the right side on Team Canada, too, is, like I said, that's the notable omissions team that Sportsnet Canada put together. The right side is Evan Bouchard, Brandon Montour, and Chris Tanev. It's a tough lineup to make in Canada. I mean, birthplace of hockey. It should be tough to make. And Chris Letang has never gotten the nod because they've just always had standout player after standout player, especially on the right side of defense. But I would say, depending on how deep the B squad went, yeah, I could see Letang being in the conversation. But the more I look at to the notable omissions, unlikely, actually.
Yeah, the last time Kris Letang suited up for Team Canada, he was the captain for their World Junior team in the 2006-2007 year. He had 6 assists in 6 games played. So it has been a long time since Kris Letang represented his country. So, I mean, maybe they would give him that nod as the like, hey, been a while. You've been a good pro. This is a guy that some people are talking about Hall of Fame, and yet he hasn't represented his country since he was a rookie in the NHL.
Same could be said about Marc-Andre Fleury. Again, not rookie in the NHL, but he would have been a good option if Team Canada wanted to get creative and spontaneous at all. He doesn't have a regulation loss yet this year.
That's insane.
He's playing backup, yeah, but he's 5-0-1, and could have been a nice little gesture for his farewell tour. Just here's some international play. I think for Fleury, I could be wrong, but the last time I think he played international play, he won a gold medal in 2010.
Yep.
As the third string, but again,
yeah,
you don't need the guy to play that often. Maybe just give him a jersey.
How much is Sam Montembeault going to play in the 3 or 4 games that they're scheduled to play against in the 4 nations?
He's not. Well, Bennington and Hill as your first 2 is scary, but Sam Montembeault likely doesn't even play.
But again, it is a short. You can make the same argument that you made for Erik Karlsson. It is a short form tournament. If you need Marc-Andre Fleury to be good in 1 game behind Team Canada, I think he could have. So, that I didn't think about much coming into this, but now that's going to make me mad.
Yep.
That's
You're welcome.
Bother me.
You're welcome. There's, like I said, there's a whole team of Canadian snubs that you could look at and go, these are all good. Oh, it could.
4 nations, 5 teams, and 2 of them are Canada.